top secret organization, a government within a government. Has the United States made contact with aliens? Experts believe they have. And an ultra top secret organization is calling all the shots. They operate in the shadows, keeping even the highest level of government in the dark about their actions. They demand the utmost secrecy. They are said to control all UFO information. But does this powerful organization pose an even greater threat to the future of humanity? Tonight, we reveal the most secret organization the world has ever known. Get ready for the story of the Majestic 12. This is Unsealed Alien Files. A global effort has begun. Secret files hidden from the public for decades, detailing every UFO account, are now available to the public. We are about to uncover the truth behind these classified documents. Find out what the government doesn't want you to know. Unsealed Alien Files. Exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Solway Firth, United Kingdom, May 23rd, 1964. On a family outing, Jim Templeton innocently takes a series of 3 photos of his daughter. Templeton develops the photos himself. The first one reveals nothing out of the ordinary. But in the second photo, a strange figure is visible in the background, wearing what appears to be a white helmet and spacesuit. Soon after, Jim Templeton is paid a menacing visit from 2 men, dressed identically in black suits.
The 2 men took him back to the site and were clearly trying to get him to go along with their version of events. Jim Templeton didn't play ball. The men became angry and in fact stranded him at the site. Some people have drawn a parallel between these 2 men and reports of the so-called Men in Black.
Descriptions of similar types of intimidating men are legendary, but no one knows who they are or what organization they belong to. Could the Men in Black belong to the infamous Majestic 12? The answer may lie in the aftermath of 2 of the most infamous UFO incidents in American history. Unsealed Case File, The Battle of Los Angeles. February 24th, 1942. The American Navy is on high alert, monitoring the Pacific coast for Japanese military activity. Just after 3 a.m., sirens begin to sound. An unidentified flying object has been detected, moving steadily across the Santa Monica skies toward the coast. Artillery batteries open up. Despite firing 12 to 1,400 rounds at the craft, including some direct hits, they fail to bring it down. The official report given by the Secretary of the Navy, Frank Knox, calls it a false alarm. But photos of the object are appearing in newspapers. The public demands an explanation, and they get one. The Navy is calling it a weather balloon. A very different story is emerging in Washington, D.C. Secretary of State George Marshall briefs President Roosevelt. The craft was, in fact, a UFO, and it was not alone. A second craft was shot down and recovered off the coast of California and is, in all probability, of interplanetary origin. Marshall recommends a special intelligence unit be created to further investigate the phenomena. The Interplanetary Phenomenon Unit, or IPU, is formed almost immediately. But their investigation also reveals the United States is virtually defenseless against an alien attack. Could the wreckage of this latest crash be used to strengthen defensive capabilities? It's a radical idea. Attempting to understand alien technology may help fight aliens in a future war, but it may also give the U.S. military an unbeatable edge against the entire world, ensuring its status as the dominant superpower. The recovered alien technology is allegedly examined, but the work proceeds slowly until one of the most famous UFO incidents in American history. Unsealed Case File. The Roswell Incident. Roswell, New Mexico, 1947. The wreckage of an alien craft is recovered by the IPU, along with the bodies of 3 extraterrestrials and 1 lone survivor. The cover story is a familiar one.
Of course, the first story was that the Air Force had captured a flying disc. In fact, it was the Army Air Corps at the time. Then they recanted the story just half a day later and came out with the fact that it was a weather balloon. And in fact, we have 20 deathbed confessions of folks who say that they were there at the time, that this was not a weather balloon, that there were aliens that they saw.
The Interplanetary Phenomenon Unit locks the site down, collects the evidence, and evacuates the surviving extraterrestrial. But many insiders believe there is mounting evidence to support the theory that aliens are arriving more frequently and in greater numbers. The time has come to act. On September 24th, 1947, President Truman allegedly signs an executive order establishing the most secret organization in American history, Majestic 12. Coming up, who are the members of the Majestic 12? And who is really in control? This is Unsealed, Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed, Alien Files. Washington, D.C., 1947. Top secret UFO investigation agency, the Majestic 12, has been created to combat an increasing alien threat. But who are these men?
There was a general feeling that whatever UFOs were, strange, spooky, weird, odd, the subject of science fiction movies, somehow people on the inside knew exactly what they were, people inside the United States government.
After the PR fallout of the mishandled Roswell incident, it was obvious to many Air Force insiders that an elite, hand-picked team needed to be created to control and monitor the increasing UFO phenomena 24/7. The man allegedly chosen to oversee Majestic 12 is James Forrestal, U.S. Secretary of Defense. Forrestal is the man behind the scenes, but who can be trusted to run Majestic operations on the ground? One name catches Forrestal's eye: Vannevar Bush. He is the first scientific advisor to the president and a key figure behind the Manhattan Project, codename for the world's first atomic bomb. Majestic 12's first priority is to limit the public's knowledge and exposure to UFOs. Run out of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, experts believe Majestic 12's first official operation is codenamed Project Sign. Unsealed case file. Project Sign. Project Sign sends operatives into the field to deal with a rash of recent sightings, with the purpose of clamping a tight lid down on UFO phenomena in America. June 24th, 1947. Pilot Kenneth Arnold spots a series of discs flying in a strange formation at incredible speeds near Mount Rainier, Washington. Several witnesses corroborate the incident. The story appears in American and Canadian publications. From those stories, the term flying saucer is introduced to the public. The very publication of Kenneth Arnold's story sends shockwaves through Majestic 12. How did even this small amount of information get into the public domain? Though the press is kept in the dark, one thing is clear: the problem is escalating. Although America's nuclear development is still in its infancy, ufologists fear mankind's new experimental energy frontier may be part of the problem. Some experts speculate atomic testing and the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki have attracted attention from other worlds. It is obvious to many in the scientific community that if extraterrestrials exist, they may be using a similar concentrated energy source to power their spacecraft. One of the men behind the Manhattan Project atomic tests is Vannevar Bush, the same man who is now head of Majestic 12. Vannevar Bush orders all Project Sign information. From this moment on, the American government's official public position is that extraterrestrials do not exist. But information leaks and insidious press coverage split Majestic 12 into two distinct factions. Those who feel the public must be made aware of UFOs, and those who feel proof of alien life must never reach the public again. Coming up, the secret knowledge of an alien presence on Earth may have led to one of the most devastating events in American history. This is Unsealed, Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed, Alien Files. 1949. Majestic 12 is at a crossroads. Insiders are pushing for some public form of disclosure, and the man who oversees the organization, James Forrestal, feels the time is right to tell the public about the presence of UFOs. But there are also agents who will stop at nothing to prevent disclosure. How far would Forrestal's opponents go to keep a lid on the truth? Unsealed case file: the death of James Forrestal. Washington, D.C., March 9th, 1949. James Forrestal is asked by President Truman to step down as Secretary of Defense. Is Forrestal's forced retirement the result of his stance on declassifying the existence of alien life? As his health declines from stress, he checks into Bethesda Hospital. On May 22, 1949, James Forrestal falls to his death from the hospital's 16th floor. The official cause of death? Suicide due to depression and nervous exhaustion. But as new evidence begins to surface, suspicion regarding Forrestal's death begins to grow. Broken glass is found in Forrestal's hospital bed, suggesting a struggle. There are allegations the suicide note left behind is not in Forrestal's handwriting. The military inquiry into the matter is classified top secret and not released. Washington, D.C., January 20th, 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower succeeds President Harry S. Truman. Eisenhower has a strong military background and is the first president to be aware of alien activity before taking office. In 1952, Eisenhower is aboard the USS Roosevelt during a NATO training exercise. At 1:30 a.m., a bright ball of light appears over the vessel, hovering 100 feet above the water. Eisenhower and several others watch the UFO for over 20 minutes before it speeds off into the night sky. Upon taking office, Eisenhower digs deeper into rumors of unexplained phenomena. He becomes aware of Majestic 12 and demands to know the full extent of the alien threat. But Majestic 12 rejects the idea of letting anyone, including the president, into their inner circle. The president responds by sending a team to confront Majestic 12 on his behalf. An anonymous witness to these events recently attended the citizens' hearing in Washington, D.C. on UFO phenomena and the government.
He's trying to find out something all about these aliens that MJ-12 was supposed to find out, but never sent back reports to him. So he said, I want you to fly out there. I want you to give them a personal message. And he says, I want you to tell them, whoever is in charge, tell them that to give them to Washington and to report to me. And if they don't, I'm gonna get the 1st Army from Colorado, and we're gonna go over, we're gonna take the base over. I don't care what kind of classified material you got. We're gonna rip this thing apart.
Majestic 12 allegedly backs down, and the team is allowed access to Majestic 12's most sensitive information.
They had, like, different saucer crafts. The very first one had the Roswell craft in.
But the greatest shock came in the lower depths of the base.
And then the colonel said, what we've got in here is we're interviewing a gray alien.
Returning to Washington, the team is debriefed by the president.
So he asked us what was going on, and we told him about the alien, and he was just totally shocked. He appeared for the first time to be worried.
The president had sent a message to Majestic 12, but our anonymous field agent also received a message in return.
2 guys in black suits come out of a black Lincoln town car and came over to see me, and he told me that I better not publish anything or talk about any more things.
If Majestic 12 was powerful enough to conceal this from the very government that controlled them, what other secrets were they keeping? Although the details of extraterrestrial contact are kept from him, Eisenhower's successor, John F. Kennedy, has ambitious plans for expansion into outer space. 2 years after taking office in 1961, President Kennedy opens negotiations with Russian President Nikita Khrushchev. They agreed that NASA and the Russian Space Agency would cooperate in joint missions to the moon and share any information they had about UFOs. But still, Majestic 12 refuses to declassify any UFO activity. Aware of their internal resistance, on November 12, 1963, President Kennedy allegedly issues a final order to Majestic 12, demanding they release all extraterrestrial information. But 10 days after the agreement with Russia is signed, John F. Kennedy is dead. Did Majestic 12 participate in the assassination of JFK to prevent him from gaining access to information about extraterrestrial life? the world may never know. Coming up, is increasing UFO activity a sign of an impending alien invasion? Or is an invasion even necessary if the group that was created to protect us has already betrayed us? This is Unsealed Alien Files, exposing the biggest secret on planet Earth. Welcome back to Unsealed Alien Files. Is Majestic 12 still in operation? If so, perhaps an even darker force is controlling their actions. Some experts believe that aliens may have already infiltrated Majestic 12 in order to suppress knowledge of their own kind. But to what end?
I believe if there's an object plan for taking over our world, it's happening from the inside out. So if the resource you're after is the life on the planet, you're obviously not going to want to kill that life. You're going to want to try to, corral it, control